Hello everybody, this is Fronito Bobbin here, and welcome back to Tradesden World 6. Yes, 6 is time for its first video. So yeah, we done 2 live streams last week, and yeah, we were doing the first Tradesden World 6 video. So, what were we doing then for this first video? Well, so as you know, here in Tradesden World 6, there are a few new features that they introduced here in the game. One of which, of course, being the announcements feature, which we already got a good listen to when I did the live streams last week. However, there are a couple other features that I did not play on the live stream because I didn't want those streams to go on for too long, because these are, of course, I'm talking about the random behavior, random events. Yes, like I said, I did not play with these on the live stream because I did not want those streams going for too long. Ironically, the service that I'll be doing for today is going to be quite long, but I want it to be long because we'll get a good idea of all the different stuff. So yes, this is going to be my first ever time playing with the random stuff turned on for today. So yeah, and I should mention, I have not even touched any of this stuff in my spare time yet. I've just been playing with just all the stuff turned off because I wanted to wait to do this video to figure out, like, how is it gonna work. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing for today. So I'm gonna go into my settings here and I'll show you what I've got here. So we gotta go into general and then scroll all the way down here. And here are the random behaviors. So you can set the frequency setting, and then you have the signal delays, temporary speed restrictions, and the train fall. So all these are enabled. And I've set the random behavior frequency to high because I want these things to happen as often as possible, so you can just get like a good idea of how this stuff actually works. Now, with that being said, however, I have been looking in the community, and from what I can tell, the community sentiment is that the train faults actually happen way too often. Now, I have this frequency set to high, but again, I want this to happen as often as possible. But again, I've been seeing some people say that the train faults happen way too often. Now, like I said, I have not experienced it yet, so I don't know how often the train faults are going to happen. All I will say for now is that if the train faults happen too frequently to a point where they become annoying, I'm going to turn this off. But I will leave on the temporary switches and signal delays, and we're going to see how those, because I don't think the speed switches swap that often, but we'll see. And the signal delays, I think, will make things more interesting in terms of, like, how soon or how late we're going to get to the end of the line. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're just to see how each of this goes. So, yeah, because I don't know what to expect here, so, yeah. And the service in question that we're doing is going to be taking place on the Leipzig Dresden route because, well, there's a service that I really want to do here involving the 442 Talent 2, which is the Dresden Leipzig version. And the service question that we'll be doing is going to be a full run of the route is going to be this service here, 16517, the RE50 service from Leipzig, Hofbahnhof, all the way to Dresden. So we're doing it all the way from the westernmost part of the route all the way to the east. So yeah, I know the map is a little bit messed up, but yeah, there's going to be a regional service that is going to run on the full length of the route. As the team's starting to wrap up here. Alright, so as for the worst case, we're still with 8th of July because I want to have like summertime. And we'll have the light clouds set to, well, light clouds. This is what I usually play with. We're gonna have dynamic weather turned on because this is already gonna be a pretty random journey. Although imagine dynamic weather combined with all the other random stuff that we're gonna see today. I don't know, but we'll see. But there you go then. So RE50 service, regional train service with the Talent 2 from Leipzig all the way to Dresden, with all the random stuff turned on. Let's see what we're gonna encounter throughout this journey. Alright, here we are in, so let's get started. Alright, so first things first, we'll of course set the train up. Master key on, forwards, and open the doors. Oh, there's your station announcements. Yeah. I believe one of the faults of the Talent 2 is actually the wiper gets stuck. Although the wiper stuck is just kind of like, you just turn it off and turn it on again. I'd say fix that fault. So, yeah. As for everything, I think we'll turn this up and ready to go. Yeah. Also, I'm going to be driving with the PZB turned off for this train because this is already going to be a pretty... well, we'll see how stressful of a service this is, and I don't want the PZB to potentially throw me off at any point in this journey, because the PZB... I still haven't fully figured it out. I mean, I have gotten a pretty good hand on it, but it can also be kind of glitchy sometimes. And because Hoopy isn't here to be annoying, so... Yep, I will be driving with LZB off, and for anyone who might complain about that, well... You should complain for the Germans for creating such a stupid system. There's a diesel mechanical thing arriving. And yeah, there's our train for today, the Talent 2, which is a 6-car consist, which is 3... You get it. It's 3 cars, but 3 plus 3 equals 6. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright. Alright. Also, wait, didn't Dovetail say that they were gonna tell you about the temporary restrictions? I'm not too sure. I don't actually know that, but whatever. Would be fun if we got no temporary speed restrictions at all in this journey. I hope we do, though, because again, I want to test it out, see how it is, but we'll have to see if it actually happens. Again, I have the secret frequency set to high, so I should have an almost guaranteed chance of at least one of the temporary speed restrictions, or at least the signal faults. I do have a feeling the train faults can happen pretty often, but again, we will see what happens. Alright, let's close the doors. Yeah. Alright. Okay, no train faults yet. Alright then, here we go. So yeah, we're stopping at all these different stations. Yeah, where's in... Oh, that stops between, Leipzig and Riesa.
Sehr geehrte Reisende,
okay.
Herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station Leipzig-Engelsdorf. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Let's further listen to the German announcements for today. Alright. So rather than the talent too? Yeah. You know what's interesting is that last year's video on Trains World 5 when I played the guard mode, I actually did a regional service in Germany, although that was utilizing the Doppelstock coaches, and that was the test of the new guard mode. Well, this year doing another regional service, but this time test out the new random events feature, so yeah. So then exiting Leipzig. I guess also worth mentioning that I actually have to do a full regional service of this route. I have done a couple of express services because I did of course the ICET service on the debut live stream I did last week, and in my spare time I decided to do a BR 101 service all the way from Dresden to Leipzig as well. I haven't actually done from Leipzig to Dresden yet, so yeah. And the Talent 2 that's actually training pretty well versed in now. Actually, I was actually driving it last night actually on a different regional service from Dresden via the new Friedrichsthal line all the way up to the... I forget I still don't know what the name of the station is in the north. So yeah. So yeah, Talent 2 is training pretty well versed in. But as far as what we can expect in terms of the new train faults, let's see what happens. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out that this train has cruise control, by the way. Yeah. There we go. Alright then, so here we are going along. Let's see how long it takes to get our first, first train fault, or first whatever. I think the random things are going to happen when we actually come to a red light, which I do think might happen in this journey. We'll see what happens. Now regarding the train faults and temporary speed restrictions, however, let's just see. Alright. Alright then, so here we are, that first Train Sim World 6 video. Well, I'll say Train Sim World 6 is the same as all the other Train Sim Worlds, so no real difference there. I guess we're going along here, waiting for the first thing to happen. Well, you know what, since we're here, since we're in Train Sim World, I may as well talk about my experience with this game so far. So I've had a bit more time now on the new routes. Actually, that's what I've been playing, because that's new content. You know, Riviera, Morristown, and of course this route. Well, we don't have a red light. Oh, that's because the signals are changing. Okay, never mind then. In terms of my experience thus far, okay, I will say, as far as Riviera line, I haven't been bothered to drive the route from Exeter to Plymouth, because I find that part of the route, well, I find the route from Exeter to St. David's to be pretty boring. I mainly been sticking between Exeter to Painting, because that's the more fun part of the route to drive on, because it just looks prettier. Morristown, I've done a couple of services on that as well. I've been meaning to move from Summit to Hoboken or Penn because, you know, simplicity. Because the full route to go, you know, go to Dover takes quite a while, especially doing a local stopping service. Alright, about to proceed first stage of the day here. I hope I got the brakes early enough. I think it has good brakes, but let's see. Oh no. Oh, it's first stage today. Are we gonna overrun the platform? Yep. Oh, it's gonna be close. Ah, no. Hang on. Okay, overshot slightly. Get the first door on the platform at least. Oh, only just. All right. Okay, at least now I know where to brake for the next time I have to come to a stop. Then. You can take the walk through that. That's fine. Okay, well, at least I'll get them brakes a bit sooner then. All right. I guess as far as my thoughts on the individual routes, although I haven't actually gotten a good enough feel for the timetable yet still, because I haven't driven often enough. Yeah, so, okay, I guess I can't give you a full review on the 3 routes yet still, because I haven't driven them often enough. Okay, but I guess I will say this. It's because I've been getting a little bit bored of them already, honestly. Again, the Exeter Plymouth part. Okay, New Napa to Plymouth part is kind of boring. That's why I haven't driven that in a little bit, because it's just boring. Morristown as well. I've done a number of stopping services now, so yeah. And even this. Yeah. Okay, I'm surprised I haven't had a single fault yet. Are you sure I have the settings on? Yeah, it's set to high. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, didn't the community say the faults happen way too often? Maybe they lied. Alright. But yeah, in terms of my overall review of Trace World 6 so far, again, still kind of have to get a better feel of the routes and stuff. As far as new trains, then, I have been really enjoying the Aerial 3. LP45DP is... Actually, that one's fine, too. Actually, I would say I've gotten used now to the lap brake system. I still don't like it so much, but I've at least gotten used to it. Like, at least I can stop at the station and get good enough stopping accuracy to not, mess it up completely. Also, actually, I noticed that doing something service with the 294 on a recent playtest session as well. That one's kind of a pain to shun with, though, because of the brake system and everything, so, yeah. As for the Voyager... yeah, that's another one I need to play more. Yeah. Alright. In that case, I guess talk a little bit about the announcement feature as well. I do really like the announcement feature. I think that's a great addition to the game. I think the best 2 places to listen to the station announcements is, well, on the Morristown line, I would say it's the Caucasus Junction, because from what I noticed, the announcements don't actually work, or there's announcements at all on in Hoboken or Penn Station. I was hoping they would, because those are like the 2 busy stations on the route, but no, they don't. But I have found that Secaucus Junction is the best place to listen to the announcements and everything, because those go off every couple minutes. As far as the British route, I would say X St. David's is the best one for the announcements. So yeah. Now, as far as the German announcements, however, I can't really appreciate the announcements on the German side of things, because I don't understand a single word of German. So yeah, I can't really place the announcements here on this route. I would say I'm more appreciative of the... What was a S-Bahn train? I would say more appreciative of the announcements on the Morristown and Riviera line, because of course those routes being based in English-speaking countries, and the fact that I can speak English, yeah. Okay, I need to be more conservative here when driving, because the timetable is not actually that strict in this route, at least not on the surface anyway. Like, we're already approaching Borsdorf. It was a minute and a half to spare. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm still driving aggressively. That's because the brakes things are so powerful. That's why I like to just wait until I get there and then stop. But I don't think that's really necessary. Yeah, but speed, line speed 200. I don't think we'll actually be able to go that fast as this train. I think it's limited to 160, which is fair enough. There we go. Yeah, maybe 20 seconds. Oh, here we go. Our first random fault today. The handbrake has faulted to become applied. Oh. Okay. Well, that would be cool if it happened while we were at speed. Well, we're now 10 minutes in. And we got our first fault of the day. Maybe it's depending on which train you're driving? I don't know. Because, no, another reason why I chose this town too is because this train has more faults compared to the others. Because actually, on the, yeah, I'd have to put an article actually just detailing the full list of faults for each of the trains. And some trains actually have more things that can go wrong than others. And I chose this train because it has more of an opportunity for things to go wrong. But it took us 10 minutes to get our first fault of the day. So I don't know. Although maybe it's just the start. Maybe the faults will increase as we go along here. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug ERE 50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Wurzen, Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Andre about the announcements feature, and he actually says that the German announcements are not very good. Which I mean, again, I don't understand a single word of German. But luckily Andre does, because, you know, he's German. And yeah, from what he said, the Delta didn't really try with the German announcements. They used some sort of AI text-to-speech sort of thing for it, which might also be true for the American and British side of things, but at least in my own opinion, I think that the announcements on Morristown and Riviera do sound really good. I like the New Jersey Transit and the British announcements. I think those are really good. But again, I can't really critique the German side of things because then I don't understand any word of German. But yeah, from what I know from Andre, the German announcements are not very good. So, yeah. Now, saying that, if there's any other German speakers who happen to watch this video, let me know what you think of the German announcements in this game. Are they good or are they bad? Because I can't tell you. And I'm not going to learn how to speak German just to get a better idea of how they sound, because I'm too lazy. And so 10 kilometers to go to Wurzen, which means we're going to be bypassing a bunch of the S-Bahn stations. Because I actually did a Leipzig S-Bahn service on this route once. But no, do you want to know what's annoying to me, though? There's a certain glitch with specifically with the Leipzig S-Bahn version of which is the 1442 Talent 2. That specific train has this weird glitch where for some reason, even if you set the train up correctly, it just won't move. And it's so weird. Oh, hey, look at that. Our first instance of the temporary speed restriction. How about it? Alright. But yeah, the Leipzig S-Bahn train just doesn't move for some reason. Or it only moves in one direction. So, I don't know. Alright, look at that. Our first instance of the temporary speed restriction. How about that? Alright. So I have to know to slow down all the way down to the 70. And then speed back up to 200. Okay. Or up to 160, because that's our maximum speed. But yeah, how about it? First instance of the temporary speed restriction. I like that. See what it looks like when we get to it, by the way. Alright. It was a 101. The IC service. That's actually the one I did, I think a couple nights ago, I think it was. Alright, so to the 70. Alright. So let's see what it actually looks like then. Is there anything here, or is it just going to be the speed sign? As the stupid... Where is it? Is it here? Is this... Hang on. Where is it? Okay, I'm still not too much here. I'm trying to find the speed sign. Is that it? Wait, is this... Is this the... Oh, no. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, wait, hold on. Is it this thing? Oh. Here they are. And there's another one here. I can't see it. Alright, whatever. But there's nothing really anything. And you know what's funny about that? That's something that was, I guess, concerned about. Because, you know, with the random, or with the temporary speed restrictions being a thing in timetable mode, I was wondering, like, were they gonna add, like, any side objects or something like that? Like, would they add, like, workers or some sort of obstruction? I guess the answer to that is no. No, all you get is just signboards telling you to slow down for no reason. I guess we'll assume the track is, like, braking or something in that particular section. Right. Saying that, though, because of the temporary speed restriction now, I think we're gonna get towards it on time then. Well, you know what? That'll be interesting then, because then, let's see if we can make up the time then throughout the rest of this journey. Yeah, we're not gonna get to Warzone on time. Also, we're going down to 60. And I know that's not a temporary speed restriction, because as you saw, the speed limit in the HUD telling you about temporary speed restriction is highlighted in yellow and circled by a box. That's how you know it's a temporary speed restriction versus just a regular speed limit drop, like what we have coming up here. For some reason. Okay, we'll just keep it at 60 then. Actually, change total's got a 60, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, where's it coming up here, I think? Yeah, and because of the temporary speed restriction, we're gonna arrive slightly delayed. Okay. Okay, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't expecting much of the temporary speed restriction, though, in terms of, like, the detail. That was my first time seeing one, so I wanted to see, like, would they have anything there, and I guess the signs are there, but I couldn't even see them properly, so I don't know.
Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Alright, Warzone. Arriving here a bit late. That might make things more interesting for later, though, when we get to Dresden. Also, no, my regrets of driving from earlier with me trying to stop here, like, actually what I'm trying to do right now. It's gonna pay dividends today now, because we have to be aggressive as possible in the brakes to make sure we can at least attempt to keep to the schedule. Only one train fault so far, though, so... Does it vary from train to train? I guess so. I don't know. That's very... I don't know. Maybe it does. Also, they're gonna... They'll close the doors too soon. I was hoping the time I right, but no. Alright, well... We're gonna be 1 minute late leaving Warzone. We're also a minute late arriving here, so... Alright.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug EE50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Küren. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Alright. Okay, let's even get to Curran on time. We have 6 kilometers to go. We might be able to get there, but let's see. Alright, power. Okay, so 3 minutes to get to Curran. I think we're going to be slowly delayed getting there, but we might be able to catch up 2 stations, or 3 stations down the line. But let's see. Yeah, I'm starting the train faults frequency might even vary from train to train. Or, I don't know, maybe Dovetail released a secret update that I didn't know about, or maybe they reduced the frequency even on the high setting. Alright. Well, we've had 1 fault and 1 temporary speed restriction, so... And we've been driving now for 20 minutes. And remember, this is an hour-and-a-half service, so let's see how many more stuff we have throughout this run here. I kind of wish that happened more often, like, just to see just what kind of stuff we get. Because it's funny, you know what's about the train faults feature though? That's not even like an entirely a new feature, because that was a feature that was introduced in the Expert Beer 101 loco by experts by Trains in Germany. And with that one, you can crank the chaos factor all the way up to 100. And when you do that, the faults happen non-stop. Yeah. Although saying that, even the faults are in that train are kind of hard to reset. So I'm just kind of like, I don't really drive the Expert Beer 1 with the faults simulation turned on ever. I just drive it with it off because it's just easier that way. Although saying that, I was kind of expecting that the trains faults feature here in Transfer 6 would be similar to that, maybe? Like, you know, like you have to go like a panel or something to reset a breaker or something. But no, you just hit a button and then it fixes itself magically. Okay, I really got the brakes sooner, as it turns out. Okay, 1.2 kilometers is the magic number then. But I somehow managed to nail that. Wow. Yeah, that was close, I must admit. But we did it. Okay, yeah, so 1.2 kilometers is the magic number then. That's when it starts slowing down. Fair enough. That's made it here on time. Already. Yeah, so even despite the temporary speed restriction, just like that, we're already back on schedule. What are the chances? And honestly, the fact that I hit the emergency brake at that right time was just luck. I didn't actually think it was gonna... We were gonna stop at the exact spot. Okay, Dahlen.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug EE50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Dahlen. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Alright. But yeah, 1.2 kilometers is the number. Okay. Again, this is the first time I've done this service, by the way, so yeah. Reason because I knew I was going to be doing the service as part of this video, so I decided to not do it in my spare time just to get a feel for it live, because that's how I like to do things sometimes. And I've already had 2 near overruns, so but it's okay, because now we know. Okay, so we get to down, that'll be a third of the way through the service then. Let's see what happens next then. Alright. There's speed. There we go. Cruise is such a great feature. I wish every train had it. I mean, most MAR trains do, but there's some that don't. For example, why doesn't the 801 or 802 have cruise control? Those are MAR high-speed trains. I guess the taxi were like, nah. This is someone outside making noise. I guess what I think of the route itself then, from Dresden to Leipzig, Dresden, whatever you want to say it. I mean, the scenery on the news section, at least from Riesa to Leipzig, is just kind of generic. It's just countryside stuff. I think the scenery though on the other news section from Causeway to Dresden via Friedrichshain, I think that the scenery on that route was more interesting. Yeah. But at least about from Riesa to Leipzig is high speed, so at least that gives me reason to come back to this route. You know, like when I eventually get bored of this route, you know, at least I will, you know, return to it whenever like a new train comes out or some new timetable update comes out or something like that. I'll say timetable update. I don't know how soon we will get a timetable update, if ever, because you know this is like a new route. Yeah. Do you want to know something that's interesting though? Recently I was speculating if they're gonna do a gameplay pack. Like remember last year for Trains 5 when they did that, the gameplay pack for the base content. You know they had that hopper car for West Mainland South. Ooh, another regional train. Yeah, they had the hopper car for West Mainland South. They had the 111 and the N wagon coaches for Frankfurt Fulda, and they had the Metrolink Holiday train for the San Bernardino line. I was thinking to myself, are they gonna do that again this year for the 3 base routes here in Trains 6? And to be honest though, I don't think they are, because I don't know what they could do. Because honestly, last year's gameplay was just so lame. I'm sorry. I thought Metrolink Holiday Train was just... It didn't really add anything new, honestly. I just thought that gameplay pack was just... I don't know. Because it was literally just... It was literally just what's it called? It was literally just the F-125 and Rotom coaches decked out in, like, Christmas lights and stuff. You know? Not really anything new. I can't believe West Mainland South they went with a hopper car of all things. Yeah. Like for our high speed route, let's give you some freight stuff to do, because that makes sense. I mean, yes, technically freight does run on West Mainland South, but it's not the main appeal of it. The main appeal of West Mainland South is high speed, you know, Pandolino, as well as the 350 commuter stuff. Because you want to know what's funny? I thought that if they were to do a gameplay pack for West Mainline South, I thought it was going to be the Class 805 dual mode thing. Because, you know, they already had the 801, you know, here in Train Sim World. So I was thinking they would just reskin that to Avani West Coast and stuff and make it dual mode or whatever. You know what I mean? Hilariously, though, we are still going to be getting that, though. Courtesy of Overboard Studios. So, yeah, we will be in a Class 805, but rather than being a gameplay pack, it's going to be a local add-on, I guess. Which, again, is nice, I guess. And, I mean, I don't know. I guess it would have been too difficult for Duff to just take the 801 and make that by mode. Although, again, they technically did do that for the 802 for the, Riviera line, so it's like, we got a dual mode IAT now. But I guess it took a bit more effort than, than just making it a simple gameplay pack. Well, I guess it's fair enough, though, I guess, but so I just can't believe that they did a freight wagon of all things for a high-speed route. You know what I mean?
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug EE50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Oschatz. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Yeah. I would say of the gameplay packs came out with last year for the 3 Trains with 5 routes, the only one that I had any interest in was the 111, because at least that was a whole train. You got, whereas with the Metrolink side of things, it was just the train that we already had, but just decked out Christmas lights. And then for West's mainline, it was just a freight wagon of all things. But still got to use the Class 6.6 locomotive to pull it. And again, this is for a high-speed route. Whereas at least with like the Frankfurt Flow side of things, you choose to do a whole regional service with the 111 and the N-Wagon coaches rather than with the Doppelstock coaches, like what comes with the route. But with that being said, that's what I'm thinking to myself, like, what are they going to do then if they do choose to do a gameplay pack for this year's routes? Because honestly, I have absolutely no. I mean, I have no idea what they could do for New Jersey Transit, right? I will say this: I am very well versed in like New Jersey Transit. But that's the thing. I can't think of a single thing of what they could do for like a New Jersey Transit gameplay pack for like for the Morristown line. Okay, now as for Riviera line, maybe there was something that's like really obvious they could do, but I guess I'm not knowledgeable enough about GWR to know what they could do, or some other thing. I don't know. Maybe they could do something for Riviera line in terms of gameplayisms. We'll have to see. Maybe as well also goes for Leipzig, Dresden, but again, I don't know what they would do. But for New Jersey Trans side of things, I have no idea. They got the MP45 DP, the Aero 3 multi-levels, they got that stuff. And there aren't really any other trains and trains to go that they could like convert to be New Jersey Transit or something like that, Now, what they should do and what would be cool is if they added the comic coaches, but I think if that's ever going to happen, that would probably need to be a whole other new New Jersey Transit route add-on. And since we just got Morristown line, it might be another couple years or so until we get another New Jersey Transit line. But you know what? I'm thinking that if they were to do another New Jersey Transit line, I'm hoping it's one of the diesel only lines that goes like, one of the routes that goes beneath like Secaucus Junction, if you know what I mean. Like one of the lines that goes up north with the GP40 diesel locomotive. I think that'd be a really good opportunity at the comic coaches. And plus, it would give a whole route that you can drive the LP45 DP in diesel mode. I mean, it might happen at some point. We got the MBTA Worcester line with the HP46 and double deckers, so yeah. Also, we got this station quite a bit early.
Nächste Station, Oschatz. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Oh, there's a Tiger train. All by 294. Well, we got to this station with quite a lot of time to spare. Okay, I understand what's going with the train faults feature. Again, the community literally said, oh, the train faults feature happens way too often. But we've been going for over half an hour now, and so far we've gotten a grand total of 1 fault. And that's it. Now, as for 1 temporary restriction, that makes sense. And we haven't any red lights yet, so that's fair enough. But as far as the train faults feature, I expected a bit more. Well, now I'm doing it on video for the first time. Now I can be able to do that in my own spare time, and maybe the next train faults video I'll relay how that went. Ah, there's these green coaches. Yeah, by the way, are these coaches actually... Hang on, what? Oh, I'm not seeing any coaches. Okay, these are just the freight. Yeah. Yeah, these are just static. These are not like actual bits of rolling stock. These are static objects. You know, would it be possible to spawn a train here in like free roam mode? I can't be. You know what? I can't believe I've never tried that actually. I don't know if it is possible, but that's what we gotta try out now in my spare time. But I must admit, in terms of the train falls feature, I expected more. Again, maybe I don't know if Delta have already put out a core update yet. I don't know. Maybe they addressed it in like a secret patch or something where they, where they know so many people were complaining about the train falls happening too frequently, and so they tuned it down. Although I think now they tuned it down too much. And I know maybe that's realistic though. Maybe it's realistic for a train to only have a fault like once every half hour, if it's like a really broken train. But still, I don't know. It's like. No, it's good because I tried the Beer 101 Expert, and that had a fault every 5 seconds if you cranked it all the way up to the maximum. I was kind of expecting something similar here, but I guess not. So I don't know. Now again, I might have to choose a different train for this. Maybe I didn't choose the best train to do this video with. But I will say this: as far as like what trains have like certain frequency when it comes to the train pulse feature, again, I don't know. Yet. Yeah.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Riesa, Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to just play every single train that has the train faults feature program into it in my spare time and just see what the frequency is like on those trains. Because maybe this is one of the more tame examples. But let's see how long it takes till we get another one. Anyway, next up is Riesa, which as it happens, that's going to be the end of the extended section. I'll be back onto the to the regular Navigator Dresden route. Yeah. It also means it's going to go down a bit. But, oh well. Okay, so we have Riesa, then we have... Okay, this does look pretty frequent. Alright, that's fine. Well, if we get another train for right about now, that'd be cool. Because let me just go over it again. Yep, I have all the stuff enabled, and frequency is set to high, and this has also been enabled. Yeah. Okay. So, yep, that's something I'm going to experiment with in my time, then. See which trains have it worse than others. Because here's the thing, I was expecting that for falls to happen so often that I would have to consider turning off the feature, but no, it's happening so infrequently that I guess I'm gonna leave it on for the rest of this journey then. Again, did they release a patch or something? Or what? Or is it just how it is on this train? Again, are there other trains where it's worse? I don't know. I might have to end up doing another video on the trains falls feature. Then. Not so fair. As far as temporary speed restrictions, you know, that's expected to only happen maybe once or twice a session. And the Cinema Behavior is only when red. But again, the train falls feature, I expected more. Alright then, so approaching Risa. Which means we'll be halfway in this service. Yeah. I also saw a review from Train Sim Society on this route, actually, and he actually mentioned how the scenery on the Risa to Dresden part of the route is worse than the part from Risa to Leipzig. And I will say that in my experience, the scenery isn't that varied between the two different sections, you know, between the old section and the new section. Oh, that's, you know, to be fair, I don't really have much of an eye for detail, though. But, you know, at least for me, though, like, going between the different sections doesn't really... I don't know. It doesn't really make a big difference to me anyways, I guess. Like, I guess the best way to say is that, at least in my own personal experience, the transition from, like, old to new isn't really that stark to me. But I guess a much more eagle-eyed player would notice the disparity. So yeah, we are now halfway along the route, and so far only one train fault. Again, is that to do with the train I'm driving, or is it to do with some change in the core game? Like, let's say if I drove the Aerial 3, would that be more prone to failures? I don't know. I guess I'll have to investigate in my own time then. Maybe I'll do another video on the train faults feature, picking whichever train is the most fault prone and then give you guys a good demonstration of that. Let's see what's in Risa then. Ooh, do I see a regional train? Yeah. Well, we're already a regional train, but I mean a different regional train with the double slot coaches. I was on the town. Only 3 coach consists. Is he seriously going back to Leipzig with only 3 coaches? Seems kind of insane. Uh-oh. And we got close up on the side marker. Yes, where's this guy going then? Oh, no, he's going to some portal. Okay, never mind. Can I check, actually, which service he's on? RB45 to Chemnitz. Okay. Now, do you want something that's actually funny? Though, I might as well point this out now. I drove this train briefly, this version of the 442, the Leipzig Dresden version. I drove this one ironically on the Dresden to Chemnitz route to see if they also transfer the announcements over to that route. And the answer to that was no. But what else happened was that the door got stuck. Despite the fact that I had the random thingamajiggies turned off. So I was half expecting that to happen here with the faults now turned on. But no. At least not yet. Again, we'll see how much more frequent the faults happen now. But I don't know, man. Only one fault in the last 45 minutes? That's not as much as I was expecting. Yeah. And it made me thinking, well, why do you want the train faults thing to happen so badly? It's because I think it's a cool feature, you know? It's something we don't really have in many train simulators. These are not the ones I played, you know, Train Sim Classic. Announcement.
Willkommen im Zug RE50 nach Dresden. Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station Glaubitz. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
As I was saying, you know, at least over in Train Sim Classic, I don't know if any trains in that game have like a fault simulation thing. And then when I drove the Xperia 101, I thought it was cool that that was like the first train with like a fault simulation feature. But then I actually tried the fault simulation, and to be honest, I didn't really like the fault simulation in the Xperia 101. I thought it was just, it was so weird. Like there were certain faults that you just couldn't fix. And so after a while, I just gave up and just drove the Xperia 101 with the faults off because I couldn't figure out how to fix them. But then was like, okay, cool. So now they're having train faults in their own trains. And I think what might be ironic is that the train faults in the Dubstep trains might be the opposite problem, where it doesn't go off often enough, and even the faults that do go off are easy to fix. So I don't know. I was hoping to give you guys a better demonstration of these new features, but I don't think we're gonna get it. So I guess you have to just enjoy the gameplay. Then the raw gameplay without anything going wrong. And again, what's hilarious is that the reason why I didn't play with these features during my live stream is, again, because I thought they would go out so frequent that they would disrupt the thing, but I guess not. Alright. Well, I guess enjoy the gameplay of this route then. There's never the older section. Horn. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, this is not what I'm expecting this. Again, I might have to do another video at some point on the line where I show off the features more better. More better. Yeah, I can speak English. Anyway, we'll get talk about some other tradable stuff then. So, today, oh, here we go. Oh, same thing. Really? Uh-oh, it's up in time. Oh, the pantograph has dropped. Oh, so now the faults are happening? Are you kidding me? Also, wait. Okay. Well, what the heck? So now we get two faults back to back. I had another handbrake release and the pantograph came down. Right. So yeah, that would be cool if it happened more often. Okay, stop. There we go. Alright, we're slightly behind schedule, but then that was because I was on the brakes through, and then the faults happened. But no, something else to do with the train faults as well. Again, I was expecting to be something like the Beer 101, where if a fault happened, you have to walk up to like a circuit panel or something like that and do some circuit breaking stuff. But no, you literally just hit this, release the brake, or release the pantograph, and just like that the fault's fixed, which I don't think that's how that works in real life. So, it almost feels like thanks for Beer 101 at home. Like, it's the fault simulation thing, but on a much more basic level. Yeah.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Nönkritz. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Alright, so this is also the first time I've showcased the German announcements properly, because on the ICT, you know, they only went up a couple times because that was an express service, and then on the 294 they didn't go up at all because, well, it's a freight train. But since I'm doing a local stopping service now, you're actually able to get a good listen to the announcements. So, like I said, Andrew doesn't like them very much, but if there's any other German speakers who happen to watch this video, let me know what you think of the German announcements. Are they good or are they not so good? Because I can't tell you. Now, I can tell you about the British and American announcements, because those are in English, and at least in my view, those announcements are pretty good. But as for the German side of things, no clue whatsoever. I wonder if we get another temporary speed restriction, though. Or is it only once per journey? Oh yeah, I was just going to talk about the first route that's coming, and that, of course, is the West Coast Main Line Birmingham to Crewe route. Just today, as when I'm recording this, I'm actually recording this on the Wednesday. They came up with the talking about that. Oh yeah, actually remind me of something else, by the way. Yeah, but I'm recording this on October 8th, by the way, for reference. So, and this is coming out until Saturday. And yeah, tomorrow's when I'm recording. That's coming out with the October roadmap. But yeah, the reason why I can't talk about the October roadmap in this video is because it hasn't come out yet as I'm recording it. So yeah, if you want to know my thoughts on the October roadmap, I have to wait until the next Train World video. But at least for today, they did do a little bit of a local lowdown on the West Line Birmingham to Crewe route. And from what I read, they did actually say that the Class 350 will be getting a fault simulation thingy-majiggy as well, except that won't be coming until a post-launch thing, which is, yeah. I'm not gonna. That's like the same case with a lot of the trains in here in Train World 6. Like they announced train faults as a new thing, but the train faults feature only applies to certain trains in Train World 6 for now. Now all of them are eventually gonna get the train faults, but for now only certain of them have it. And if you want to know what those certain trains are, again, they did put out a whole a whole article talking about it. So I'm definitely going to scan that and see what the trains have it and try those out in my time. Alright, Priestwitz, which is 10 kilometers away. So a bit of distance to go here.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Priestwitz. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
There you go. But yeah, looking forward to West Midland Birmingham Crew. I might even do a live stream on that route actually when it comes out. But depends on the timing of when it does release. They haven't actually come up with a release date yet though for that route. I'm expecting though probably either late October, late this month, or early next month. But I got a lot of stuff going on right now, so we're gonna have to see if I'm gonna have the time to do that live stream or not. Because here's the thing, when that route does come out though, if I do a live stream, I was my Burn crew. If I do a live stream on that route, I want to do that stream on release day. I don't want to do it like the day after or next week because I feel like the route would be, you know, it would have lost relevance by then. I want to play that route on the day it comes out, just to get as many viewers as possible. But that depends if I'm gonna have the time to do it, which again depends on if whether the release is either. I mean, okay, if the route comes out, like, let's say if the route comes out late October, I might have the time to do it, but we're gonna have to see what happens. Otherwise, if it comes out in early November, then yeah, I should have the time to do it. But again, we'll see what happens. The good news is that now that Transport 6 has come out and there's really no major events coming now, I should have more time on my hands now to work on my money-making business thingamajig. Yeah, because this week and last week have been quite loaded. You know, last week, of course, I had a bunch of Transport 6 things to do. This week as well has been pretty loaded as well. You know, because Monday Monday I was going to do some more stuff to do with the YouTube Shorts thing, but I ended up not really having the time. So, yeah. Tuesday, yesterday, as I wasn't recording this, I went to Kingston train station to do some rail fanning because I wanted to see the cells go by 150 miles per hour. Which I did, and actually had a much better experience than I did last time. What was a double train coming? Because I actually also went to Kingston back in late August. But the reason why that was a frustrating experience, actually not because of like the trains or anything like that. No, it's because when I was there, it was like a time when I was doing something else, and that something else was very important. So while I was at the station, I had to attend to that. And because of that, I actually missed out on a couple of trains that went by because I was in my car when two cells came by, and yeah, which is kind of stupid because I could have been on the platform and I did this, but no, for some reason I did this in my car, you know. Because the thing with Kingston is that, you know, they do announce like to this day train approaching, please remember the station. They do say that when the train comes, but you can only actually hear it when you're on the platform itself. If you're even in the parking lot, you can't actually hear it. So, yeah. Although, I guess it's kind of my own fault because I should have been on the platform. Because here's the thing. I had my phone with me. I was doing it on my phone. So I could have been on the station platform when I was doing that. But I wasn't because I'm stupid. So, I don't know. That was weird. But, yeah. But anyway, but you know what? At least this time when I went, at least this time I didn't have anything like that going on, so I was able to be on the platform the entire time, and I got every single train that went by this time. And yeah, okay, almost every single time. No, the funny thing is that when I actually got to Kingston, there was a regional train that had actually arrived, but I had arrived there as well at that same time, so yeah, I couldn't get a good view of that one. But it was normal regional anyway, so nothing missed out on there. But otherwise, after I got there, after I got on the platform, I was able to get every single train that went by. So yeah, I'd say I had a much better experience this time around. I'm glad I did. Because it's nice to see the available raising revenue service now, you know. Yeah, so that was yesterday. Today, of course, I'm recording this video, which of course is a long video. You know, an hour and a half service, so an hour and a half video. Tomorrow is my birthday. Yeah, I'm actually recording this on October 8th. As of tomorrow, October 9th, I will be 24 years old. Yes, yep, I'll be doing a birthday tomorrow. So that's gonna take my attention away. And yes, we're gonna be doing I guess a mini birthday celebration that we do. Well, not like we do every year, because usually we do a more extravagant birthday celebration, but this time it's gonna be a lesser one because, you know, 2025 has just been not a good year to me. But we're doing that tomorrow, and Friday is just usual Friday. Yeah. And I guess I'll just talk briefly about my money making, what you call it. So yeah, well, hello. Yeah, so this is something I actually talked about in my last video, the Transport 5 Preston Carlisle video. I did talk about YouTube Shorts for a bit, and I have changed my strategy since that video. Now, I will say this. I am still currently in the process of working out my YouTube Short strategy here on this channel. And, yeah, I still need to do some experimentation and stuff to figure out what I'm going to do. I will say this, though. Expect some YouTube Shorts coming pretty soon that are actually train related this time. It won't be on some R-rated podcast. No, it will be actual like content that's actually related to what I actually do here on the channel. And I'm actually hoping to use that to my advantage because I'm hoping to, you know, put out short form videos, which will promote the long form content to get more money from that as well. So yeah, I will say this though, I don't know if it's gonna work because the funny thing is I'm actually in a YouTube Shorts mentorship program. I say mentorship, it's not really mentorship, but whatever. It's YouTube Shorts. It's a YouTube Shorts Discord server where people will help you if you're having problems and stuff, basically, or if your videos aren't good, then they'll help you to actually improve the videos. And the guy who actually hosts the whole thing actually does weekly calls. I actually attended one of his weekly calls, and he actually reviewed my channel, actually. I didn't really say much about my content, though, but then again, you know, I've exclusively do long-form content for now, although, of course, we'll get into shorts pretty soon. Yeah. But what I'm planning though is that when I do upload some YouTube shorts, then which will be next week actually, and I'll attend him another weekly call where he'll, you know, hopefully be able to help me figure it out, and there's other people in that server as well who will also be able to help me out and stuff. So yeah, so basically my plan at this point is just do YouTube shorts content. I'm gonna do as many different types of videos as I can that at least relate to trains. Now, as for how those videos are going to perform, though, that's the one thing where I don't know. Because, you know, since I'm going to be doing train content or Roblox content, I don't know how these videos are going to perform, honestly. You know, it's an experiment that we're going to see what kind of results we get from it. So, yeah. So, as of this point, though, in terms of where my expectations are, in terms of, like, how these shorts will perform, because, again, I'm going to do a variety of shorts, I'm going to do real-life train spotting, model train stuff, Roblox clips, and even some other stuff that I haven't actually done yet, in this channel. Yeah, but again, as for how this video is going to do, I honestly don't know. And that's something I'm very curious to find out. Do I think this is going to be the thing that, you know, makes me a load of money? I mean, here's the thing. At this point, though, I'm not really looking to make a life-changing amount of money just yet. I need just enough money to where I can invest into, like, a better program, right? So, here's the thing. What I really want is a mentorship program that actually is one-on-one mentorship, where you pay money, you pay someone, and then somebody will personally help you try to, you know, make big money online. That's the kind of program I need, because I think that's ultimately the best way and really the only way I'm going to actually succeed at this. Here's the problem, though. Those kind of programs are very expensive. Like, we're talking in the thousands of dollars. Like, again, you got to pay someone thousands of dollars if they're going to help you one-to-one. Right? And the funny thing is, there is actually a program that I actually did apply for, thinking it was going to be free, but no. I got into the call and the guy said, you know, it's going to be a big amount of money. So I was like, okay, well, I won't be able to do this then yet, so, yeah. So, but here's the thing, though. YouTube Shorts can still pay a lot of money. So what I'm thinking about, no, what I'm going to try and do here is to just see how much I can make from YouTube Shorts and see if I can make the minimum amount of money I would need to join a program like this. So, yeah. So, we're going to have to see how much money I'll make from this YouTube Shorts thing. Like I said, I'm going to try out train content, see how that does first, and then maybe after about a couple weeks or a few weeks or so when I haven't got many views, then I might just turn to more broad shorts or something. I don't know. We'll see what I can figure out here. Okay, at this point, I don't really know how this is going to go yet. I've been wanting to make a start on this, but I haven't been able to because I haven't had the time lately, you know, because again, last week was a loaded week. This week has been a loaded week. But the good news is that next week will not be a loaded week. Next week will be a normal week where I'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to work on projects. And of course, I'll do the weekly video on Thursday, and then Friday is Yomola. So yeah. Although one of my uncles, though, from China, who you actually have seen on this channel before, he'll actually be coming over pretty soon. So yeah, I might be spending time with him. But hopefully that won't hinder me too much in terms of the progress I need to make on my YouTube Shorts journey. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And as of this point, there are no more major game releases for the rest of this year. Then, so that won't hinder me at all. I did mention the West Coast Main Line Bermuda Crew route, but that's only gonna be a single live stream though, so that'll be easy enough to do. And actually, I should say this: the reason why I'm planning on doing a live stream on Bermuda Crew is because I'm gonna be trying out vertical live streams. Yes, because I've looked into vertical live streams as well, and while they don't make a lot of money, I have seen people say it does give you a lot of engagement. There are a lot of people who will subscribe to the channel through the vertical live streams. So if that works, I'm gonna be doing live streams a lot more often then, and they're all gonna be vertical then. Just to see how much engagement. Now, saying that, I know people you might be thinking, well, I don't like vertical live streams though. Well, luckily though, there is actually a way that I actually found out that you can actually do two live streams at the same time. You can do a horizontal stream, which is just traditional streams I usually do on this channel, and there's also the horizontal or the vertical stream as well, which shows up in the shorts feed. So I'm gonna be doing both. I'm gonna be doing the horizontal for those who prefer horizontal, but I'm also doing the vertical stream to get as many people watching to that as possible. And I might even put up like a link where if people tune in on the vertical side of things and don't like the vertical stream, they can just click on the horizontal stream and there you go. Because I think the horizontal streams pay more anyways. From what I know in terms of earnings though, the vertical live streams only pay like pennies. Like the vertical live streams pay next to nothing. But I would say this: I'm not planning on doing vertical live streams for the sake of for the sake of money. I'm gonna be doing it for the sake of engagement. See how many people, subscribe to my channel through the vertical streams. So there you go. So what's my Bourbon Crew is probably gonna be the first I'm gonna try out that. I'm also planning on doing some Roblox live streams in that format as well. So yeah. Now speaking of Roblox, the funny thing is that at the end of the Train Sim World Deluxe streams, most like to say we're not doing any more Roblox streams, and that was because they were actually on a Roblox strike for a little bit, or my friends, Russell, as well as somebody else on the server, they were actually on a Roblox strike because of what was happening with like the Roblox controversy, but they've since now lightened up and now they go back to playing Roblox, which I'm actually quite glad they did, because I don't want to just throw Roblox away, especially for such a weird controversy. I don't even understand what it is, and also I don't really care, to be honest with you. I just don't want to throw away Roblox just over something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, Roblox live stream will be happening. I was already planning on doing one at the end of the year, like I usually do. But I'm thinking about doing like an extra one though, maybe in like mid-November or something. We'll have to see what happens. Because Roblox is very popular. Actually, the inspiration for Roblox is actually watching the shorts that TTTE guy does on the Tim Tam maps. Those get a lot of views, so I want to see if maybe I can get those kind of views as well. And you maybe we have another trend called the Roblox rants. I promise you, I'm not gonna be doing those kind of videos because honestly, I've watched some of those and they are so annoying. I'm sorry, the voice. It's how do those videos get millions of views? Like, seriously, how do those Roblox get so many views? I find them to just be so annoying. I can't stand those videos. And yet some of them got millions of views. How? I don't know. I guess there's a lot of kids out there who enjoy that kind of thing. Because I don't. Now, I didn't mention Roblox streams, though. I promise you those are going to be, like, gameplay clips of stuff, of, like, my streams that I did in the past. And streams I'll probably do in the future, so yeah. But we'll see where this goes. And next up is Wine Bola, or let's call it Ebola. Because memes. Okay, we're now over halfway there. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stop! Uh-oh. Ira's next station was right in front of us. Okay, we're stopping time anyway, though, so that's fine. But yeah, let's see how my YouTube Shorts journey goes, then. Yeah. Now, you may be thinking, well, okay, but YouTube Shorts is still kind of like... it may not succeed. And you know what? I am fully aware of the fact that this may not even work. Even with the help of a group of people, That's still the possibility that YouTube Shorts might not work, or at least might not work with me doing it on my own. So I will say that if worse comes to worse, and I just can't make it work, then I am gonna have to get a job early next year. Which I really don't want to come to that, but there's a very real possibility that if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to get a job. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna say this now. There was a possibility that starting in January of 2026, this channel might have to go on hiatus for a little bit while I get a job and make some money to get my life straightened out. Someone having a spasm there. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, let's say if I did get a job, I would hope to work it though for only about 6 months, though. But, again, we'll have to see what happens. But, yeah. I will say this. From now until the end of the year, I'm going to try my best to make as much money as I can with YouTube Shorts, vertical live streams, whatever it takes. But, if I'm just not getting any results, or I'm not getting results that are good enough to where I could, to where they make a huge difference, then, yeah, all I'm saying there's a possibility that I'm going to have to get a job, which means I'm going to have to put down YouTube for about 6 months or so. Which I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof.
Oh, there's a little baby train.
Postweg bei Dresden, Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, though. Let's say if I do have to put this channel on hiatus for a while, I promise you, I'm never going to abandon YouTube, okay? I promise you that when I do get my life straightened out, then yeah, I will come back and do weekly videos and stuff. Now, saying that, though, again, that ultimately depends on my ability to succeed with YouTube Shorts. Because, let's say YouTube Shorts does succeed and I make thousands of dollars every single month from this, then everything will continue business as usual, and I will be able to continue uploading weekly videos going to the new year of 2026. But if not, and this YouTube Shorts thing doesn't work out, then yeah, the channel might have to go on hiatus for about 6 or so months until I've got my life into a, more financially stable position to where I can, you get the point. So, but yeah, we'll just see how things are by the beginning of next year. Because right now, between now and then, honestly, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. Like, this YouTube Shorts thing, I don't know how it's going to go, honestly. We're going to have to see what happens. Because I see people doing really well at this. So, I think there's a potential I could do well too. But, again, I don't know. What's going to have stuff to talk about here? Because, man, not a lot has happened. Yep, ever since getting to, well, ever since the last financial, yeah, so only, yeah, so what we've had in this year so far, we've only had one temporary restriction, okay, that's fair enough, but those trains we've only had a grand total of 3, 2 of which happened right next to each other. I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna have to play with the temporary, well, not the temporary, the fringe I've turned on my spare time just to see how often they happen in other trains. Because again, I want to save my, like, reaction, my experience for this video, because, Yeah. Oh, so balance % parts of the route, really? Yeah. Oh, what? Okay, I guess now if I'm gonna train fail, I need to speak it into existence. Circuit breaker. Oh, there you go. That was easy, wasn't it? Alright, here in Coswig then. They're making stuff at Red Debal. Is that on the S-Bahn line? Not sure. So we've had the handbrake go off twice. We've had the pantograph drop down and the circuit breaker bang. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with this in my spare time because again, I heard the community saying, hey, that train faults goes way too often, but as for this video, it's only going off 4 times in this train that's been now going on for, you know, an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 13 minutes to be more exact. It's been such a long service that I'm just surprised we haven't got as many train faults as we had. Or as I thought we were going to have. So where is Red Bus anyway?
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station Radebeul Ost. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
Crack gets the Rosers. Alright, well, there you go. And I tell you, we've not seen red light either, so yeah. We're gonna have to see how the signal failure goes, I guess, for other routes. I don't know. Hey, we're going with the S-Bahn line. Okay. Also, why is there missing bound sections of the route? Is that how it was in the original Navico Dresden route, or is that a thing with this route now? Oh, let's grind and load in. What's gonna be a regional service on the S-Bahn tracks? Okay. This is still a flyby view since I haven't done one. There's more missing ballast. Is that train coming? No, it's just a building. Also, I forgot to take a screenshot. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do that later. Balls. Oh well. So yeah, and we haven't had any more temporary speed restrictions. I was expecting that to happen more often, but only once. Yeah, well, again, I'm gonna play with these features a lot of my spare time. So again, I'll report back on my experience when I do the next Train video, and that's something I've been trying to get back to, but I keep forgetting to mention it. So yes, I do plan on doing another Train 6 video next week. And I said video is that's going to be something similar to what I did last year, and that's going to be the New Jersey Transit Aero 3, but I don't know, this corridor line, yeah, from here to Trenton. I'm starting to think, with that being an older train, would that mean an increased possibility of the faults? I don't know. Maybe. Well, like I said, I'll be experimenting with that in my spare time. I might have the train faults feature on while I'll do that video, because again, I guess it's so infrequent that they're blah 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 blah. Oh, sure comes to Reddit ball.
Nächste Station Radebeul Ost. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
Ooh, is that spawn train? Yeah. I guess there's more of the train faults feature. Well, apologies, this has been kind of a boring video in terms of, you know, the train fault stuff. I was expecting it to be more interesting as well, but I guess again, I have to experiment with it in my spare time to see which trains are like more likely to fail. So, we'll see. Well, we're in the end of this journey then. Another 15 stops to go. 15 stops. 15 stops. 15 minutes to go. Oh, I've had 15 stops. We'd be here until Christmas. So yeah, we've had one train temporary speed restriction, 4 faults, and no red signals. Yeah, and this is on high, by the way. This is the highest thingy majiggies. I guess they need to, you know what though? They need to introduce an extreme mode or something. Yeah, we need extreme mode, like super duper high. Well, only then we get faults every 10 minutes and temporary restrictions every 5 miles or. We'll see what happens, I guess. Or we'll see if they treat it the same as guard mode and they just put it out and they never do anything with it ever again. So if I did guard mode last night, I rocked on an S-Bahn service from Dresden to Meissen. Yeah, guard mode is still broken.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug E50 nach Dresden, Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station, Dresden Neustadt. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Yeah, something I still understand about guard mode is that when I first tried it out, it actually worked pretty well in terms of like the amount of tickets to check. But I don't know, they must have come out with some sort of update, which now you only get like tickets, like it's so few and far between that I don't even want to do guard mode anymore. You know, especially because guard mode would be fun to do now with the onboard analysis feature, but the problem is that, you know, it doesn't work. They're changing tracks now. That's why I have to go 50. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, eh. It just feels like whenever Dove introduces a new feature, it's like it's a cool thing, but it doesn't work properly. And yeah, they made absolutely no changes to guard mode going to Train Mode 6, so yeah, guard mode is still just kind of broken. So, I don't know. Even my God mode video from last year was more interesting, because at least we got to see it in full force, but here, not really. And again, I wanted to do a long service, because I thought that'd be more opportunities to see it, but I guess not. Oh, you know, maybe you think that might have something to do with it. Oh. Okay, you know what, no, I don't know if this is true. But maybe the fact that it's such a long service might have something to do with it. Maybe, do you think if I did a shorter service, the transfers would happen more often? Maybe. Or maybe not, and maybe it doesn't matter how long of a service you do, it's still gonna be the same result. I don't know. But I don't know, that would explain why people were complaining about it happening way too often. Maybe they're doing such short services that that's when it was like most prone to happening. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, again, I want to experiment with this in my spare time. See what's what. I guess you could say that I played the Train Mode 6 new fault simulation features and was surprised, but not in a good way. Because they happen so infrequently there's almost no point. Well, here we are approaching Dresden then. Yeah, Dresden Neustadt, and then... Oh, that's Dresden Misty, okay.
Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Also, I sure got here early. Well, I guess I better listen into the station announcements. There we go. There's the S-Bahn.
Gleis 7 steht RE50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Abfahrt 13:26 Uhr.
Is that my train he just announced? Or she just announced? I don't know, because I don't speak German.
Gleis 1 steht S2 nach Dresden Flughafen. Abfahrt 13:24 Uhr.
Anyway, yeah. So, I guess that's the new random events then. So yeah, signal failures, or signal sausages. Again, that I guess only applies for situations. Train faults happen nowhere near as frequently as I thought they would. And temporary restrictions only seem to happen once per service. But again, this is my first time playing this. Let's see, or we'll see how it goes in my spare time, and then I'll report back to you. And I might even do a second video that's shorter than this, but it gives you a better demonstration of the features and stuff. Now, I know you guys don't really care for these long Trains and World videos, or really Trains and World videos in general on the forum stuff, so... Yeah.
Einfahrt ICE 1597 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Abfahrt 13:31 Uhr. Vorsicht bei der Einfahrt.
Yeah, so... yeah. This video is filler, I guess.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug RE50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station Dresden Mitte. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
Something else worth noting, didn't Duff also say that they would also... that regarding the announcements feature, didn't they also say that the announcement would actually announce like if there's any sort of train faults or something like that? I didn't experience that here. I mean, even though the guy was, you know, the guy speaking German, I would at least be able to hear him speak, like, say, like, passengers, we apologize for the fact that the train is broken. Or, the bang ding ain't going the way I give it a device spots. I guess that's my terrible impression of German.
Station Dresden Mitte. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
Oh, here we go, red light. Ooh. Are we finally gonna get a first look into the signal thingamajiggies? Let's see. This could be interesting. Well, it happened at the tail end of the journey, though, so it's not really... not much of a point. But let's see if it does make any kind of difference. Probably not. Yeah, so you have a red coming up. But yeah, let's just see what sort of difference it makes. So yeah, I guess first impressions of the trains falls feature, it's neat, but again, I wish it happened more often. Temperature restrictions, again, neat, but wish they were more frequent. And signal failures, or signal thingies. I'm still signal things, I actually don't know what it's called. Is it called the signal, I don't know. The signal delays. I'm so stupid. Signal delays feature, I can't speak much of this yet either because it, this, I don't want to go this video anymore. So yeah. Yep. I apologize if this video wasn't that good. I mean, I hope you enjoyed the train driving isms, but you know, I know you're expecting more of the train faults and stuff. I want to get very little of it. Well, let's see if we get one more train fault before we get to Dresden, just for the heck of it.
Sehr geehrte Reisende, herzlich willkommen im Zug EE50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Wir wünschen Ihnen eine angenehme Reise. Nächste Station Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Alright, putting red then. Let's see what happens here. Well, it's not changing to green, so... This might be our first kind of a signal delay. Oh, wait, is that just because we're in Dresden? And the traffic is backed up. No. Wait. Is there a train that's stuck? You're kidding me. Yeah, because this guy's not even moving. This guy can't move. You've got to be kidding me. Well, I guess I have to delete this guy. And now is this guy gonna get a move on? Yes, he is. Okay, good. Well, in a video where we were supposed to be seeing what the train fault feature is like, we get a video now where there's a game fault in which the signals don't turn green because the signals are broken. The train's stuck. Good going, Dovetail. We're up to usual standards. Yeah, all I could say is, thank goodness we have the ability to delete trains in timetable mode. Oh, I stopped at the signal again. Okay, I guess that signal's broken, so I guess we have to delete this guy as well. And it's still broken. You're kidding me. Oh, never mind, turn green. Oh, maybe that was signal delay. Well, we're already late anyway, so not like it matters. I have to delete 2 trains anyway, so yeah. Alright, Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Alright, well, there you go then.
Station Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Yeah, like I said, there you go then. That was your first look into the, this here on this channel, first look into the temporary speed restrictions and the train faults. Yeah, I think the best way to say it is that I just wish the train faults were more frequent, even on high mode. And again, I was expecting there to be a lot more train faults because, again, I heard the community complaining, saying, hey, the train faults happen too often, so I was expecting that to happen here. But, I don't know, either they released an update where they turned them down, or the train I'm driving is just programmed to where the train faults don't happen often enough or something. I don't know. So again, I'm going to have to drive some other trains with the train fault feature and see what sort of experience I get with those, and then I'll report back on how that goes. For now, here we are then. And our final stop. At least we made it. Well, let's say getting here was a little bit easier than I was expecting.
Gleis 9 steht RE50 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Abfahrt 13:32 Uhr.
As I see over there. Yeah. So, there you have it. Train faults. And temperature restrictions. And signal delays. Although, even the signal delays, the one opportunity I could have showed it to you, yeah, missed off on it because of the glitch with the trains being stuck. Well then, yeah, like I said, we'll see where we go from here. Again, I might do another video on the train faults. Again, we're just gonna have to see what happens going into the near future. For now, though, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.